Welcome yourself back to the EGFC Power Series 2022. It's Tenrec, and I'm Cup of Frag, joining Tenrec here. You've seen his face around before. I am maybe a slightly newer face, but the teams, they are where you ought to be focusing, and we just had an absolute barnyard burner from that last game, man. Let's talk about it real quick. We don't even need to talk about much, because if you missed it, well, I think you missed one of the best games of today. 13-11, was it for the final score?
Yeah, 13-11 game. I mean, it's a hard to miss game. That's the funny thing. If you're just hopping in, I feel nothing but sorry for you because, I mean, what an incredible game. Back and forth across the entire way. But it was DePaul who not only maintained their lead for a majority of that game, but did clutch out the win. Their economic stability was a bit better going into the end, giving them that match point. And then the following round, they were able to seal up pretty convincingly. Actually, not convincingly at all. They only have one member left. I don't know what I'm talking about, but that's the funny thing is both of these teams, every single round, it is either flawless or extremely close. There haven't been too many rounds where there's 3 or 4 members still up. It's either going to be a 1v1 by the end of the round, or it's going to be a reset for one team with a full buy against an eco. There has been almost no in between.
No.
But on Ascent, that may change. Because the meta is very different on Ascent, the approaching game is very different for Ascent, and you actually have a midpoint you can approach through, rather than just different sides of 2 different points.
You're in my head, man. Get out my head with the read in my mind, because completely for Ascent, mid-control is it. You need mid-control. The more that I've played Ascent, the more I cast Ascent, the more I research and look into the statistics of Ascent. It is so apparent that if you don't have mid-control, you're doing it wrong, and you're probably going to lose the map. Simply put, and I like saying that about Ascent, you could compare it to a map like D2, Dust 2 from CSGO. If you're not that familiar with Valorant, it's a map where mid-control completely dictates how the map will go. And I'm going to throw it to you right now, Tenrec, for this agent to select. I see a chamber. I see a little bit of a smile creeping up on your face.
Well, I mean, it's the same sort of composition for Ascent when you walk into it. But the funny thing is, as most of these metas have evolved, Ascent's agent pool has exploded. There's still your classic staples. You're going to see a KJ somewhere in the mix. You're going to see a Jet somewhere in the mix. You're going to see an Astra somewhere in the mix.
Right.
But KO has risen up as a really solid option. Chamber, of course, found their way into the metagame. Firsty, going to switch to that Reyna instead of Jet, which absolutely is a viable option. Those Leers can be so important as an entry tool across A and B main. Those have been really great tools. Sky as well has found her way, like she has, into just about every map. She's found her way into Ascent. This pool is so wide open, and I love watching teams continue to experiment, because in a year like this, where Valorant is getting out of its infancy, it's getting to a point where anyone can hop in and anybody can be viable. Anyone can beat anyone. Any agent can really be chosen, and you can kind of rationalize it. I can rationalize. I can understand all of these choices. The mainstays are the Jet, the Sova, the Astra, and the KJ. Sago has locked in the KO, while Icy has locked in the Chamber, and I could absolutely justify both.
I'm just going to kind of read these out just so we can verbally process them, right? So starting things off, as you look over to one side of the fence, at Butler University, you've got your Chamber, you've got your Astro, you've got your Sova, your Jet, your KO, and that's going to be taking on your KJ, the KO, the robot of KJ, not to be confused, the Jet, the Astra, and the Sova. So most certainly, that duelist predominant map that you knew Ascent as. You've got the Reynas, the Jets, the Rays. You don't really see that anymore. And less focus on the duels, more focus on the actual util and the placement throughout the map. So those Astras, they better be dominating that courtyard.
That's true. In a map like Ascent, paying attention to the buy phase is just as important as paying attention to the actual game itself. Where people set up all the utility is how you can really dictate the balance of a matchup. And KJ is at the center of it all. Killjoy is infamous for being able to set up practically all her utility on one of these sites in Ascent, and then just letting everyone else go over to the other one. You'll see a lot of 1-4 defensive strings walking into these matchups, and it's going to start once DePaul ends up picking that KJ, because Butler doesn't have it on this defense.
No, they don't. I just want to say Nest was up in grass. He was picking some flowers for his girlfriend already early in this round. Just over a minute left. Butler, player down. Thirsty though. Sneaky, sneaky, beaky over at Wine Cellar. Does get the one pick, has the fucking Sheriff as well. Gets two.
Nobody's paying attention to the flank yet, but they're too busy worrying about everybody jumping down from heaven. And Butler is still trading things out. Now Nisei, a little late. And they hear the reload, which means they hear Nisei in heaven, but that doesn't matter when you frag out like Nisei can. DePaul, 1-0.
I am going to be proper honest. I did not see that coming. A flank on a flank and a spank and a spank. Double from Thirsty. Great entry. You didn't see that going wrong. Even a triple, but the reverse sweep. Nisu comes through from heaven and saves the team. Complete savior. Walking on water. The ghost to pick up the pieces, and that is what you call a recovery.
Bulldog and 4 Spectres now for DePaul's roster. KJ's not going to see too much util walking into this, but that turret is going to be a great way to scope out a sight line, which is very scary in Ascent. You have to check so many corners. The fact that KJ, at the very least, can clear out one of them has got to be pretty nice to hear about. Nest waltzing right into A side and finding the first pick. That tailwind's such a great entry tool. You have to adjust so quickly as a defender. And Nest just couldn't do that in time. Who can from Butler?
Great take here through the pool. They're not letting go. They have got their greasy mitts on it. And they are locked down as firmly as possible. They do not want anyone coming through. Nest finishing things. And I say that though, the pistols get a couple of frags. A little bit of econ damage inflicted, but nothing too much to make the upset spread for DePaul. 2 in a row and, well, going for another bonus as well. Respect that.
Yeah, it's going to be another bonus for the round. 3, Butler. They've done barely enough damage to secure this full buy. 50 credits left for 2 members, and then everybody else on absolutely nothing. But they're able to make it work. Phantoms and Vandals plus heavy shields, save for Odin, who has lights, but should do the job for this defense against DePaul, still keeping the Sheriffs, the Spectres, and the one lone Bulldog getting held by that defending side.
I'm a big fan of the Bulldog, Tenrek. Massive fan.
I love the Bulldog. Bulldog's great. Bulldog's fun.
Very underrated.
Oh yeah, if used well, can do a lot of damage, so DePaul can absolutely cut down a lot of these rifles, which is what they're going to look to do. Finding this 3-0 would be such a great starting tool for this. And Icy gonna try and deny that. Sago goes down first and finds the double on a Nest. He re-enters and finds bodies. And through Market finds another with a 4K to end things off like clockwork. Icy on Butler's back is able to take that bonus round, and the flow of the game has not gone off course just yet.
You know when you get ice cubes out the freezer and there's that kind of like that mist that just comes off the ice cubes? That's Icy right now. He's fresh out the freezer. That first game, I want to say, was an uncharacteristic game of Icy. Maybe getting a bit warm, but as you can see now, starting to get nice and warmed up. The WD-40 making the joints work nice and proper, and yeah, I'm excited to see a Tour de Force come out. Perfect on Ascent. Not for this round though. A bit excited, getting a bit ahead of myself. Butler, the first in the bag. Plenty more to do to dethrone DePaul.
First, he's going all the way up, but Nisei is going to throw down this lockdown, but it's a bluff onto B site. The other 4 members are going to A site, and nobody's there! This is free for DePaul. They're going to enter here for free, and all they might lose for it is just Nisei's body. Yeah, the spike is going to go down for free on Butler. What? They just now got this memo. Nobody stayed on A site.
What a mistake. What a blunder. What an over-rotation. They're going to be living with that mistake for the rest of this game. Maybe for the rest of the series, because that could get them back in. Butler.
Oh, that knife's going to be massive. That suppresses 4. Everybody's up there. Sago knows. Everyone's in heaven.
Nice drive.
But maybe not for long. Stuck in the nebula at the moment. Wasting so much time.
Oh, everyone's
flash out, catches 3! Sago finds 3! Finds 4! Ghosty finds the final pick, and DePaul trades it out properly. What a flow of that round. They mastered their rhythm that time around.
Oh.
I mean, what? That was so beautiful. That bluff on the lockdown could not have gone better for them.
Look at this
and then
flash.
DePaul, they took advantage of every single scrap that they were given. Absolutely gorgeous round for DePaul.
What? I'm almost speechless. I'm almost speechless. The fake's one thing, But to play such a sensational round off of that fake, I'm stand up and giving a standing ovation. That is exceptional from DePaul. And if they keep that up, this is no doubtedly going to be a 2-0.
KO Knife only finding one attacker, but there's a lot more behind that. Firsty on this eco does find Ghosty, but Nest can trade it back out and Tailwind right onto A site. This point might just be given up again for free, as this is a save for Butler, but the Tour de Force is out here as well. Smiley getting continuously hit by the null command that has been activated here by Sago. Now the spike goes down and the null command has expired. It means Icy can re-enter a little more cleanly, especially since he's got one of the most powerful weapons in the game. Smiley doing a lot of opening work there. Nisei able to trade things out. So is Nest, who is still alive up in hell, and jumping from the gateway finds another. And it was definitely a save, but it was a close one. Paul now up 4-1.
Butler making these rounds actually tough, difficult here for DePaul, regardless of what they have here. Icy, let's put that tour de force into play. Gets a frag or two, and I've got a question for you as we do go into this next buy round here. A very important one in the EGF when you're looking over to Butler University, just fighting for their life currently in this series. Are you a believer where if you've got your ultimate, your jet, your chamber, your neon, and you've got your zap, do you use that on the ecos or do you use that on a full buy? It's something I think in the community right now, there's a bit of a tear between the two.
I think it's impossible to answer that question because ecos can be so very situational. If you are coming back from some sort of brink and you need to find some momentum ASAP, or if the opposing team is running on empty, they just got their full buy back and they have like no credits left and they're about to like they're on a streak where another loss would net them like no credits, then take out the ult. Then take out the gun ult. But if you're on the eco and the opposing team, they have credits to burn, they're looking more solid than ever, they're on a solid streak, I'd say save. I'd say save for the moment. But it is a good way to just grapple up and get a free 2K.
It is indeed, and you know what? No ult's available in this one, and in the sense of it's just pure frags, pure raw frags. They're in sight. It's a 3 versus 1, and it's all over and done. Butler get themselves tidied up, clean up the mess, and are back in a better position, running the right direction. And back to your point, just going to wrap up what we're talking about there with the ultimates. I like that response. It is situational, and we've seen situationally, I see sometimes we're part of that ultimate on that eco, on that light buy. It's all just about how you read the game. And I'm just trying to tell for those in the chat as well, just to give you a better idea of this higher tier gameplay of Valorant with your ultimates when you're those specific agents. Food for thought for you. Lots of food for thought. Same for Butler. This is slightly more defender-sided map as well. Just look at the stats. I think it's 52.5%. Take it back, 52.75% defender-sided. So on your attacking side here, you're expected to take a couple of L's, but not like that to start things off. First blood going the way of Thirsty.
And he took some damage, but he got the damage done with the operator, which is about all that you can ask for, especially considering how much of an eco you dipped into it. You're going to want to keep this op as long as possible. Icy can throw a body out the wall to make sure that they keep their positioning, and Smiley coming all the way around Catwalk. This round is looking nice and easy here for Butler, despite the fact that DePaul, they really invested in this round. This is looking pretty bad for them. This could look like an easy reversal, especially considering Butler, their ult economy is raging.
And we saw last game too, and if you didn't catch that, I can tell you for sure, it's going to be an even game once more. Ascent known for sort of those 50-50 coin flips. I gave you the statistics. I told you it's defender-sided, but it's a bit of a debate really from me because it doesn't always work out like that. It depends on compositions. It depends on players' performance, and these are all factors that are undetermined right here, right now. Something I can tell you is predetermined. Ultimates, baby, 4 apiece.
No ults coming out from DePaul right out the gate, though, despite the fact that they are on that save round. They're just going to wait things out, make sure that their eco is A-okay, and they have something to back it up to burn through these last rounds of the half. They're going to try and find a pick nonetheless, though. Haven't succeeded yet.
Mid-control being owned, being destroyed here by DePaul. They love that market. Grab a banana, grab an apple, and grab a frag or two. Icy preventing those frags. Icy the sail, and Ice is a couple of players as well. DePaul absolutely vaporized, melted, and their attempts to get through market. There was a flash sale, but it was for Butler.
I mean, you can't really expect any less. Full buy against the save round from the defensive side on Butler, and they had the positioning down. But look at this credit cushion that they have for these last full rounds. They are setting themselves up for a defensive successful streak heading into the tail end of this half. I mean, I absolutely see an 8-4. They have all 5 ults. They have all 5. They have a full buy. They have 2 full buys worth of a cushion at this point. And DePaul, they do have 4 ults, and they do have a full buy yet again. They are also on the attacking side, and they are also on the heels of 2 rounds lost in a row here. Ghosty could use that Hunter's Fury early after finding Smiley, but Smiley's on the run. Smiley avoiding 2 of the Hunter's Fury shots. Avoiding all 3. No connection out of that early frag, and Firsty is the one to early frag yet again. The fragment thrown out to give some space, but Smiley is laying in wait and is able to take out Sago's null command. Jelly can res it back up, so it's still a 4v4. But Icy turns it back into Butler's favor with a frag onto another member of DePaul. Point is under the control of DePaul, but maybe not for long. Hunter's Fury this time. Force catches 2! Butler out of nowhere! Find the round yet again. Took some ults, but they have ults to spare. Butler up 5-4 with another full buy against another eco from DePaul. This is looking worse and worse for the attacking side.
I'm losing my mind. I'm losing my mind backstage, and I'm going to express it right now. I've got full goosebumps from that. The double Hunter's Fury coming through from Cat. I mean, literally from the back lines. Like, what else do you want from your Sova? That is clinical stuff coming through. Hunter's Fury, looking like Hiko with the Hunter's Fury. Banger. Love it. Nano Swarm take control of mid as well, but this time Thirsty's ready.
Should be another solid, easy round. Firsty's still got that operator, and everybody's on catwalk. You can see the fear
just chilling
in the approaching from DePaul. No way they want to work with it. Icy thought that no one was going to be there for a second, and Ghosty can actually take advantage of it here. So a good opening pick from DePaul, and they realize that, hey, maybe B point is looking a little more attractive. No, you don't have to deal with this operator just yet. Instead, we only have to deal with an Astra.
You should run.
It was going all the way back down to Boathouse upon the release of the lockdown, but nowhere is safe in there. The Cosmic Divide also comes in on the entrance. Shockbolt catches Odin on the way back out. DePaul's approach game is looking great. Oh my goodness. Finally detained. Forgot about the lockdown, and DePaul's now up 5-3 upon the plant. They're looking so good in this eco.
That was so unfortunate for Odin. One side of you, you're going to have your nano or your lockdown. The other side, you're going to have vulnerability.
Oh, Nisei up in market, catches 2! That's all the connection you need. Now it's just Firsty. Has caught 2 with the operator, but needs to look practically every direction at once. 1 double aggression, and it's all over. Unless he has the flicks of his life. Nope! You don't. Ghosty in the save round. Final hour, DePaul are able to climb back and keep this as even as ever. This is an emotional roller coaster, Kappa. I'm losing my mind.
You know what? I was just thinking that. We've just met, man, but I tell you, it feels like I've known you for a long time because these games...
I feel such a special bond with you now.
They're aging us, man. These games are taking years away from us because there's so many five brain plays going on. 5 forehead brain plays going. It's crazy. I literally am in awe of this collegiate Val. So much potential for a great year for 2022. Hopefully you enjoy yourself so far. I can tell you for sure we are.
Now walking in with better guns this time. Round 11 to take the lead back, but Smiley and Icy, they have other things to say about it. There was a lot of utility up, preventing that tailwind entry, and DePaul got a little too greedy, opened themselves up a little too much, and are now paying for it dearly. Could this be a flawless defensive round this time around? Nova Pauls to at least distract Icy, but he's able to avoid it and get the pick off with the Vandal and Smiley. From Tree Room. It's up close and personal. Flawless round 11. Butler continues their lead.
In the half.
So, just getting a flashback here. We go back to that first map. You were over on Bind, and you saw Butler in similar fashion get some great rounds to the first, or the beginning of that, the ending of that first half. The concern comes with that second half. The concern comes through consistency is key for a team on the defense and the attacking side. So this last round, about to wrapped up. I'm expecting Butler to bag it. I really am expecting Butler to bag it with 3 ults and the weaponry advantage. See what they can do.
Nest looking to frag out. Keep it even as they head into the defensive side. You can't ask for much with a roster like this. All you can do is perform. And Nisei performing very well yet again. Another pick on to Smiley. The opening pick this time going the way of DePaul. And a lot of great entry tools here, but it's all another fake yet again. The spike is over at B side, and yet again, it's just Nisei on the KJ, holding down A side against all 4 defenders. This is deja vu for round number 2.
That is when you know you've got a great set on your hands. Occasionally could do things like that. Such a nuisance. Getting fragged as well,
bro.
Got a 3K10.
The one member rotating is Odin, and is going to find 2 before getting traded out, but the plant is still going down on B side, and Nisei still holding a threat to the point where Icy has to wait before even engaging. The recontest will succeed in taking down Nisei, but now they know that Icy is still stuck all the way back in market. Can Icy clutch out this 2K and give Butler a 2-round leader with DePaul? Close the gap yet again as we head into the swap. Swings close, and both sightlines are covered. Ghosty is the one to get the final blow, and DePaul will bring it back 6-6. And we're back to where we were before. The sides are swapped.
I love that play from KJ, and you had a great rhyme just to summarize the whole time of what was happening there. Just such a nuisance, such a pest to come through. Odin takes 2 as well, and does their best to hold back the force, the fight that's coming in. 6-6, even as it goes, and it's just like that first game. This could go either way. We could go to best of 3 for the third. We could get it done in 2. It's anyone's match right now.
I'm so scared that the finals are going to be so much more underwhelming than this. I don't want this match to steal the show, but right now,
it is.
It absolutely is. Nothing could be closer. Both of these teams, behemoths in their own right, absolute menaces. And they're both just performing so well, but only one team can advance to the finals, and DePaul, they're 7 rounds away from being that team to do so. Can they clutch out map number 2 and send us to the finals match early? Or will we see a decider map? Sago and Firsty spot each other. Howdy doody. Alarmbot finding Smiley as well, and the Nano Swarm to cover the bases immediately, but no kills just yet. That changes though as Icy enters through tree and finds one with the headhunter before Saga can trade things out, but is immediately tossed into a re-engagement with Firsty, who can get the finisher. And Odin will get to plant this spike down before Nisei can recontest, and sadly doesn't find any picks, barely finds any damage in fact. Now it's just 2 defenders from DePaul trying to find this pistol round and keep their lead intact. Nest finding one with the ghost, searches for head, finds it. Jelly now taking a wider step, and the knife is going to suppress both of them though. That's just to get some information, but Odin and Force don't need information. They just need to click heads, and indeed they do. 7-6 Butler.
Butler get that crucial pistol. Crucial as it goes. And I was talking of stats earlier. Let's get for you a little bit of a revision of what you're looking at for Ascent. It is so defender-sided. 52.75%, 47.25 for your attacking side. And right at this moment, Butler defying the odds. Take pistol, get the buy, and a disciplined full save here for DePaul. They do not want to take any unnecessary risks, and they're going to do everything they can to get this done in 2 maps.
Well, you got to remember, DePaul won the first 2 rounds on attack here in Ascent as well, so not necessarily completely new ground, just a bit disappointing that they couldn't take both of the first rounds. They would have absolutely adored that opening gap yet again to bring it to an 8-6, but looks to be an 8-6 the other way as Butler, they find the first frag, and they find B-Site free as a bird. 4 remaining members of DePaul spread out as far as they can over the back shoulder. How many picks can they get to make this bonus round as easy as possible for themselves? Firsty with the Marshall is going to get flashed out and fragmented out, but it doesn't matter. when there's so much firepower behind you. Sago, the only one remaining, and you can
Uh-oh.
kind of just fire blindly into that nebula, and eventually you'll hit something. You'll hit Sago, and indeed they will. A flawless second round. DePaul, their bonus round is going to be difficult for sure.
That is the closest you can get to running it down in the tournament right there. They were literally just running it down into defenders. He's here somewhere. Just keep shooting. Just keep holding mouse one. Does the job. Gets it done. And inaccurate, it doesn't matter because they've got the fullback coming through. At least for one team now. That's DePaul getting into this. And Odin for Nisei explains the desperation, the thirst, the hunger to win this game.
Butler only needs 5 more rounds, and they'll take us to map 3. This is the DePaul bonus. They are incredibly kitted up.
It's dark.
That's a cool lineup. I haven't seen that before. Firsty taking the first pick on a nest through mid-side, and Ghosty very aggressive here with the Vandal. We'll find one, and Jelly can trade things out as well, but DePaul has already lost more resources than they want to. And Jelly is on the verge of death as well. Again, no healing available for either side this time. Sago holding down Market, has to back up yet again. You can see the fear in DePaul. They lose one more member, and that just is such a gigantic step for the economy going into round 4 of this half.
Yeah, they know
onward.
the consequence.
Cannot spare a moment, and Nisei with the Odin only finds 1. Could have spanned longer, maybe found some more damage, but didn't. That's going to be another plant, this time onto A site. With remaining members of DePaul gonna come in up to heaven. Shock Bolt finding a scrap of damage on Sago. Recon Bolt stalling things out. Knife will give the info that both members are there.
I'm surprised.
They don't exactly know where. Fragment in the wrong spot. Jelly wide approach right over Firsty. Doesn't spot him. But Force does. Sago, though, on the drop down from the closer end, will seal the deal in DePaul with 40 health remaining. We'll take round number 15.
That's the impact of KO. Straight up, right? You've got that suppression, that 0 point that you chuck down. Use it. Straight up. Use that utility on the retake. You're going to have a great time. No ability to do a gravity wall. No ability for a nebula. No ability to do diddly squat for the likes of the attackers there. And that is in a bit of a better position.
I mean, DePaul, this is going to be a Force hybrid here. 3 Spectres, a Bulldog, and a Phantom. I mean, they're going to dip everything into this round to make sure Butler can't get to 9. Paul wants to stop this right here, right now, and they're confident they can do it on this defensive end.
Stats behind them. They've got the side control behind them. Attackers have to do so much ground to cover to get to site here. Bit of vulnerability, exposure here for Thirsty at mid.
Waits it out, and Smiley, on entering through the nebula over in B main, will give P's site over to Butler. This hybrid is looking to be all for naught as Butler has the sight lines locked down. Ness the only one to find a pick so far. Again, they have to peek through the back end, go through Market this time instead of shoulder. Nobody's watching that sight line, but Firsty in Courtyard does see them. Sago trades it out, but Forz is able to pick up the pieces from shoulder. He was patrolling, and Butler will indeed take 16, now 9-7, and DePaul, they're going to have to save again.
They have to. Yeah, I was about to mention, where's the money? No money. This is where you save your pocket money for next week and go out with your friends when you can actually spend rather than have to rely on them. Saying that, though, not even need friends to lend a penny right now. No one has money to speak of. A Sheriff is the only weapon that's offered on the table. Even that, 10. I'm a bit hesitant to even purchase that.
No, I mean, you really need to ration yourself at this point. I mean, this is just about a guaranteed 10-7 lead for Butler. I mean, we haven't seen gaps that wide in most of these games. Like, these leads have been 1 or 2 rounds strong, but a lead this massive could be very difficult for DePaul to climb back from. And so they're going to try and make sure that when they walk into this round 18, they're going to start things off with a bang, but for now, all they can do is try and take care of as much of the eco as possible.
That's the Sheriff.
And that's not looking too great, but 2v1, Ness does find 4s, and Icy's now going to get counter-aggressed here. We'll find both members, though. Just wallbang through the boxes, simple as that. Everybody's suppressed from the knife, though, but, I mean, you can't really do much about it. The 2v4, it's scary to enter. Smiley finding 1, Smiley finding 2, and Butler finding 10.
Smiles from ear to ear. If you're a Butler fan, if you're a Butler player. Or on the other hand, they have got so much hard work to do. I did see an operator slapped onto that inventory, so let's hope and see if that's to come to help solidify things.
Well, first it was
Nest.
yeah. It's Nest the Jet on the operator, and we saw how effective Firsty was on the op with the Jet. Back on defense for this first swap, always getting picks and almost never being able to get aggressed, able to tailwind out pretty consistently. There's the null command to start things out, and Forrest gonna pop out with a Hunter's Fury. Butler, they know that DePaul can toss everything at this, and they're gonna try and counter it, but Ghosty finding a 2K, including onto Smiley's null command, and time is running out for him to be resurrected, so it'll be a 3v3 here. Paul still has 3 ults. Butler's got their ult as well. DePaul's gonna toss all 3 at this now, including the null command. Blade Storm.
Oh,
But none of them survive.
that's so tragic. That's absolutely so tragic. The reversed. Null CMD, null command. Good effort, good thought, but it's weren't able to trade off of it there, regardless of abilities being frozen. And can't help but to say, real talk, man. I feel we're in a third map already. I don't really see a DePaul team that we saw in map number 1. They're not present. They're AFK right now.
Agreed. I don't think DePaul is going to be able to come back from this. I don't think that they should go for a hybrid like this. I think they should absolutely save and put all their chips into going for OT, but that's not what they're going to do. They're going to go for the Spectres and the Judge. They're going to try and stop this right here again, but that hasn't worked yet.
No.
For Butler, their attack has not been phased by slightly better guns. They've just played better on this map so far, and they're looking to do it again. Somebody's going to enter through this nebula. They have some flashes to do it, and they actually know where Nest is, so the tailwind's already gone here. Paul, they run out of resources before the fight even really begins.
And, whoa. List problem number 1 of Ascent, really, for DePaul. Util scarce. Weapons scarce. It's been the story of this half, really.
Now 3 through courtyard. Butler might be rotating here. Not a lot of util that could be thrown out from the KJ. Both sides are pretty safe, all things considered. 3 gonna come in through tree. Nest having to watch the door and can't finish against the gravity well with the Spectre. Smiley finding 1, Firsty finding the next, just through the Cosmic Divide. And he spot Ghosty as he jumps up. No, Ghosty has the right corner. That's some great Cosmic Divide placement there from Jelly. Ghosty still safe on that heaven, but the lockdown thrown out as well from Nisei is going to try and make sure that everyone has trouble getting on, but Icy doesn't care. He's just looking for frags, as is Fours. And before the lockdown even detonates, Butler will seal this round up, and I'm thinking we're looking at a 13-7 here, Cuppa.
Yeah, this only going one way. This is going Butler's way. The Butler University service. So you know what? We'll clean this one up for free, but we're going to charge for that third. They're going right through to the third, and I'm happy to see a third, I think, selfishly. But right now, for the likes of DePaul, I am mortified, and I want to say scared for them for map number 3, because this just doesn't look like the same team. They don't have the same confidence. They're not peaking. They're not trading the same. They just don't seem synchronized anymore.
No, I couldn't agree more. They clearly have kind of lost a little bit of their touch, and they seem more and more desperate as time goes on. Butler has got in their heads, and it absolutely shows. Nest already gone. Sago stuck. Everyone's inside, and the fragment will catch some damage, but not a body. Firsty still has the Blade Storm out, looking for some damage, but he's got to stay safe. Only 20 health to their name. Nisei going up close and personal on this catwalk, and we'll find Smiley because of it, which means the spike is down. And Firsty is going to have to come in from somewhere else on this angle with the operator, hope to get Nisei. No, they're going to take their time with this, and DePaul has all of a sudden found a lot of control. Butler has to change up how they rotate here. Oh, that's a good start. That's a great start. Nisei's gone from tree, and Icy's not done with this flank. Could find Jelly peeking in this corner too, and is waiting for Ghosty actually from the shoulder, but they come out at the same time and find Icy. The spike has been re-picked up though. Firsty waiting in the backside. Oh, what a flick! Brings back out the knives. Can they find Jelly here? Looking around the corner, can't get it. Jelly gets a pick, but they've got to get 2 more to stay in this map, and the spike is already planted. Down in hell. Jelly stuck in the gravity well as well.
Vulnerable. Yeah, this is...
They don't do any about it.
It's looking bleak, man.
Up. Jelly has to perform so well and then still manage to get the defuse. Running out of time, second by second. Here comes the drop down. Gonna find Force first, but Force has the better sight line. And Butler has taken us to map 3 in this semifinals match.
I don't want it to end just yet. They want their say if they're going to get through to the finals today on your Saturday here for EGFC. Thank you for joining us so far for these 2 games. We have got another scorcher coming your way, but let's just focus for a second. Icy and Thirsty. What a performance from both of those. And I did say I've seen a lot of Icy in the scene. Last game, or the first game for Bind, was not Icy's best game, but that second, that's the Icy that I know and love.
Absolutely. No, Icy absolutely popped off. 24 and 13. Just had the sightlines so down, able to rotate so effectively and back up their team whenever it was necessary. But can they continue? Can Butler mount the same comeback that DePaul had to do to even get this far? When we come back, map 3, it's going to be Breeze. Don't go anywhere.